Welcome back. I've left my glasses in the car, so that's why you might not recognise me. We've got a new alternator. We're going to see if we can get this thing charging. Yeah, picked up a new alternator, so we're going to just run a few tests on that. And that's what we're going to try and do, is try and fit the alternator. But we also may change the belt layout as well. I'll try and get the driver's seat out in a minute and show you. I'm hoping I don't have to take the whole engine out to get to the alternator. I'm hoping I can just undo the front engine mounts, put a jack under it and lift the engine up high enough, 4 or 5 inches, so we can get to what we need to with our the alternator. Let me just show you. There's our big V6 engine. There's the alternator down there. As you can see, you can get to one of the top bolts. There might not be too many more bolts at the bottom, but there's a tensioner there. What we're trying to do is eliminate the power steering pump. That's a fan belt, that clutch thing that goes on a fan, which we don't even have anymore. And we've got the power steering pump, air conditioning pump, which would be nice to keep one day, but for now we can leave it. I was in contact with somebody that does a kit that does all that and puts an idler bearing in, and and I might go with that, but I'm going with a cheap free option at the moment, which is maybe just to grind a little bit away from the sump and run a belt. But we'll have to see if that works. Yeah. Anyway, let's not even worry about that. Let's play with the new alternator. Okay, look at this proper setup. I thought before we get any further, let's just prove in our head things work. So basically, what have we got? We've got an alternator, clamped in a vise, brand new, so hopefully we can take it back if it's wrong. We've connected the positive up to the big positive. We've got our little LED light that we picked up. We've wired that into the pin that we know the blue wire goes to in the car, which is the L wire. And then we're just jumping the other side of the LED. This is an LED one, but it's got resistor in it because it's got 12 volts, back to the positive that's on the back. And then we've just got one of our old Wilco's little jump leads to connect the earth up. So when I connect the earth up, it'll make a circuit and hopefully the alternator light will come on, which it does. Can you see that, everyone? Don't worry, it's upside down. It won't be upside down another day. And then what we've done in the drill, we've done that, put that thing in there so we can actually start this up now. Light goes out. Oh, and you can feel the torque kick in, and then when we stop, light comes on again. You can hear it slow down as it starts trying to charge. That's because, yeah, that's what happens with the engine. When you hear the engine running, the alternator kicks in, it lowers the RPM, because actually, yeah. Excellent! So we've got a charging alternator, but it's just not on the car. Okay, driver's seat out. Tensioner off first, get the belt off, and then we'll figure out if we need to raise the engine to get to some of the alternator, which I think I need to raise the engine anyway if I want to do this mod. I don't know if this mod's a good idea, actually. I need to have a think about it. But let's get the alternator off first. Worst case, I get the alternator off, put the new alternator back on, and we put the belt back on just as we are for now. Because the only thing I'm worried about, not that we've actually driven this anywhere, and God knows if we ever will, but we might not go. The pump might not last too long with no oil in it. The power steering pump. The other option I was looking on YouTube the other day about what steering pumps is, maybe I could take the innards out and just fill it with oil. And so it's not trying to pump oil around a system, it's just in there, if you see something, and it's not cavitating because we've, yeah, whatever. Well, I actually got the 2 mounting bolts out. The alternator's fallen down. There's a water pipe that's just in the way, which I might take out, and I think I might be able to get it out behind the charge cooler area. I've still got the big battery cable on the back to unbolt, but that'll be a 13mm or something. And yeah, this is going too easy, too easy. Alright, boost pipe taken off. That water pipe, which I think goes to some sort of cooler. And cables connected. Yeah. Woo-hee. Woo-hee. What we should do is get it on the bench and perform the same test we did earlier. Shall we do that? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Let's get the alternator. A nice clean one. Oh, there we go. Right, come on in. Come on in. Be my friend. Let's see if I actually bought the right alternator compared to... Oh, it looks similar. Looks similar. Because I didn't risk trying to... oh, that cable's come off. I didn't risk trying to take this one off and actually guess the right part number. So I did my best and yeah, looking alright. So we know this one works. We may stick that in the, let's stick it in the vise and test it. Okay, all rigged up the same. Positive on there. We attach the negative. No ignition light. So that's at least proven to me that, yeah, it wasn't working. We may well need to put some sort of splash guards under there, because if I show you, it's even, okay, we're not going to drive around mud pits very often. Well, we may do, but yeah, it's got caked under there. I don't think it was mostly buggered before that, but it definitely didn't help. Sometimes you can get, or you can do buy new rectifiers and everything that go on the back there. And another possibility, I saw them for sale, about 50 quid, but I thought I just couldn't risk it, so under 30 quid lighter. See how long that lasts. Well, we've managed to undo the engine mounts and jack it up quite far. It's making a funny noise, but I think that's water leaking because the battery's not connected, so can't be electrical, can it? Can it? Can it? So yeah, we could put the belt back on as I did before. Somebody sent me a photo of what they did to delete all this when they were building some sort of kit car type thing. I've forgotten his name, sorry. Basically, wrap the alternator belt around there, and around the alternator. The only thing you got a problem of is it hits the sump. That big aluminium bit there is actually part of the sump. He said he managed to grind it away enough for the belt to clear, but I don't think it leaked, but yeah, it was close. I may get the alternator on and have a look at it now we're up this high. Okie dokie, alternator back in. As you can see, yeah, I started taking a bit of this off, but I thought I'll get the alternator on to figure it out. So we could still put the belt on back how we would want. We've still got problems at some point with the water pump. God knows how far we're ever going to drive this car. But the point is, if we can eliminate all that, makes the car lighter, doesn't it, at the back? So the guy that said that he did it, I can't get my, well, I could get the disc pad in if I could get the bottom pulley off, but that looks like a bit of a bugger to get off. But yeah, we'll get a little, I've got a little belt that came, I don't know if it's the right size or not, but we'll give it a go and have a play. What's the worst that can happen? We can make a hole in the sump. JB Worlds for that, isn't it? Okie dokie, ground away quite a lot. I could grind a bit more away, but my grinder's not fitting in there very well. A load of aluminium dust will blow all that off later. But what I'm thinking is actually, if I got the belt I bought, surprisingly, wasn't long enough. But I'm thinking I could mostly run a 4 or even a 3 tooth belt on this. I'm purely running the alternator now, so the reason you have more ribs is because you've got more load, you've got more friction on all the pulleys that you can turn things, aircon, power steering pump, things like that. But I've only got a little alternator, so I'm thinking a 3 tooth belt, which I've looked up off of Prius, might fit. but it's whether I can actually get one in the next few hours to actually try it. Who knows? But we may hit the car and go check out a few places. First stop. Good old Rose Autos. Oh, still love that. Go down there and they just talk to a person. He looks on the shelf for stuff. So I've got 2 sizes, 4 rib belts. You've got a bit of leeway. I said, yes, I've got a little bit of leeway. So yeah, Halfords. Last time I went there, I bought a belt years ago for one of my old projects. They don't have belts anymore. I expect you all shouted that, but the blue sky, we've got an hour or so to get back. Let's get this whacked on, and hopefully one of them will fit. And yeah, woohoo! Okie dokie. Oh, lean this car over, the door keeps shut on me. Anyway, let's get that light out of the way. So, what we got? Yeah, Rose Autos. Good, sorted that. Pop that back. So, yeah, I've got 2 belts, 855 and 878. 4 PK, so that means they've got 4 ribs on them. So, yeah, let's see if we can get this one on. Put that under there. As I said, I don't need such a wide alternator belt if you've not got the load. Oh yeah, yeah, this will go on, this will go on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, a lot of them there as well. Now, I am running the ribs on this flat pulley, which you should really have ribs on it, but somebody else was doing it. They did have the wider belt on there, but I think that's going to cause less issues than a drying up water pump. Yeah, excellent. That looks cool, doesn't it? I could have taken more off. I think you're okay taking a little bit more off, but at least we know the length now, 855, so that's perfect. It looks like a bit of tension on there. We'll find out if it all falls off at some point, don't we? So yeah, thanks Rose Autos. 14 quid lighter, but 2 belts, which ain't bad for that. So yeah, what I might try and do is, while we're up, got it a bit higher if we can, I don't know, is it worth trying to take the power steering pump off while we're here? I don't know. Let me have a think and see what the time is. Alright, battery connected. I've lowered the engine back down again a bit. It's not in the quite on its mounts properly, but it's good enough to start, that's what I would say. Yeah, so belts on, try to get the power steering pump out. There's another bolt that I've got air conditioning pump. There's one more bolt at the back which I couldn't get when it's up, so I needed to lower it so I can try and get to that. And yeah, so I'm not too sure if I'll wire the, figure something out in a minute. I'm gonna wire the, let's just test this. Hey, so that's going to power through the alternator. So that's good. It's not on the switch at the moment, so, but please bear with me on that. Let's see if I can just jam this wire in somewhere just for now. Please bear with. Yeah, let's just use a screwdriver on that. Positive connection. So where's my wire? There we go, we can see that, can't we? Hopefully you can see the light. So that's going through the alternator, so that's a good sign. That's what we were trying to get the other week. Weeks, months. So yeah, can you see the little red light? You can see it, can't you? Just there. So let's see if the belt flies off or cuts. Can you see the belt as well? You can just see the belt. See the belt, the light, the belt, the belt, the light, the belt, the light. I don't know if I'm missing anything. Light went out! for too long. We haven't got the water, or it's not full of water, it's mostly got some in it. That's a success. Not quite sure what the squeak was, but to be honest, when I cranked it, it did seem a little bit flat, so maybe, you know, it was just trying to charge, and I noticed the headlights were on as well. Maybe it needs a 4-tooth, 5th tooth belt, but the squeaking started to go by the end, so as long as the noise disappears, I'll always add a little bit of oil to it. That'll get rid of any noises. So yeah, charge lights comes back on, but that's obviously because we just wired it straight to positive. Yeah, let's just do a quick. Lights gone out, no squeak. Well, I don't know if this is going to be the end of the video because I might have an extra bit of day tomorrow, but if not, thank you for all your support. Again, it's one of those mornings again, I've had a few rough weeks, and so basically couldn't get down, and I got down here, wasn't expecting much, it was raining, and I knew I had to get the alternator out, and oh my god, and that actually turned out a bit easier than I thought. Tested it on the bench, we saw that, I was happy, got it in, we now got voltage, we're charging, we've got a simpler belt layout now, so we can now get rid of the power steering pump and the air conditioning unit. Said it correctly that time. We don't need the power steering pump because we're still running the electric power steering pump on the Mini, not that I've actually wired that back in again. It seems to be quite light on the front for some reason. So yeah, a job sort of ticked off the list, not completely, but we know how it goes, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's got to be more reliable, maybe. Leave your comments below if you think it's not going to work, tell me. But yeah, thanks for your support. Click like, tell me what you're having for dinner. We're going to have some chicken and chips, maybe some coleslaw from Lidl. And yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll either add more to this and move this to the end or whatever, but yeah, success! If you want to help me in any way, check out the description. Please read T's and C's and do not copy what I do. So, I might label this is how you fit an alternator to a 2.7 bi-turbo BMW Mini, because somebody else might want to follow this one day. I don't follow me.